draw up this file within Tensor is actually quite easy. We will use the function line sketch and fillet to draw up this profile. We will first start to select all the geometry by drawing a rectangle around the geometry and delete all elements. This is our reference point 0, 0, and we will draw up our first line, which is a line from left to right by pressing your left mouse button key, and Tensor will automatically ask you a y value for this line. We will enter 0. x1 could be 0 and x2 30, but in this program this will not be necessary. We will just click OK, and we have a horizontal line from left to right. Our pencil is still attached to our mouse, so we can draw up a second line, a vertical line, and Tensor will automatically ask a x value, which is in this case 30, and y1 and y2. I'm not so interested in these values because we can trim these lines afterwards. Okay, I have my second line. My third line is again a y value 130 minus 70, which results into 60, and I click OK, and we can click on this button, which will trim the first line to the second and the second to the third line. Click, and this results into one chain. These two are the last two elements, so we can define a fillet between these two elements of 15, and we click on enter. Now we need a fillet of 30, so we go backwards, no problem there, and we enter 30. OK. Now we continue sketching our vertical horizontal lines. We draw up a line upwards, and our x value is 30 plus 60, which gives you 90. OK. We draw up a line from right to the left, because this is the direction of our profile as we draw this up, and we enter a y value of 130. We go downwards again, which is an x value of 90 minus 55. OK, and a horizontal line of 90. OK. As these are the two last elements, we will now define the fillet, which you can always afterwards define, but this will take you more clicks, so this is the fastest way to draw up the profile. The radius is, in this case, 30 or 15, and we have this radius. We can then draw up the last line, which is an x value of 0. OK, and now we should be able to trim all the elements from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, etc., etc. So we click on this button, and you see everything is connected to each other, except the last line is not trimmed to the first line. We can move one step backwards, and before clicking on the trim button, we click on the close chain button, which means if I now click on trim, Tensor will know that it will have to trim the first line to the second, second to third, etc., and the last line, which is this line, to the first line. So now we click again on trim, and we see that our profile is finished. So remember, from this exercise you can use the line sketch function to sketch your horizontal and vertical lines. Use the fillet function to define a rounding between two elements, and remember the closed chain button, which will take care of it, that when you trim, you will not only trim the elements in order, but also the last element to the first element. Now move on to exercise 2.